Hello, everyone, and welcome to Subject That Changes. We are in the 20s now. Eric Michaelian is my co-host, my good friend. Wow, this is episode 22, I believe.
Oh
Am I
wow.
right?
Yeah, episode 22. I'll take your word for it. I've stopped counting, but yeah.
22 episodes into this glorious, glorious series that I've been enjoying the hell out of. This week, we're doing something very special, but before we jump into what we're doing, we lost a few people in the entertainment world, Eric, didn't we?
Really
Uh,
tragic. We lost Malcolm Jamal Warner, very lovely actor who starred in obviously The Cosby Show, but also
yes.
was on Community and several different shows. Just a real sort of journeyed actor from 80s television.
I actually owned his book, Theo and Me. Did you know he wrote a book?
Oh, really?
It was probably in the 90s. Somehow I got my hands on it. I remember enjoying the book, and I think he was just a good guy who just unfortunately had an accident that could have happened to anyone. There was no scandal or anything. He just died too
Mhm.
young in a very unfortunate situation.
Yeah, that was really sad.
And then we lost Ozzy Osbourne. Maybe thankfully, I was kind of prepared for Ozzy because he was planning to end his life, I believe, from what I read,
Mhm.
and he was going through a bunch of stuff. The last video I saw of him, I felt so bad, but he has left such a legacy. Were you an Ozzy fan growing up?
I was not. I didn't listen to a lot of music, but I came to appreciate him probably around college, Crazy Train and all that. An amazing performer, but also, man, he's been old for a long time.
He has been. I was an Ozzy fan. I got you by 10 years, so I was in the heyday in my teens when Ozzy was like Ultimate Sin, Bark at the Moon, Diary of a Madman. Back when the Satanic Panic shit was on, they brought him on a talk show. They said, "Why are all your songs about Satan?" He looked almost upset and said, "They're not all about Satan." They hit him back and they go, "Do you understand you're hurting a lot of people?" And he started to apologize, and I felt so bad for him because they blitzed him. He genuinely seemed like such a great person, and he just wanted to make music. It's sad that we lost him, but he left behind an amazing legacy that will live forever.
And last but certainly not least, we lost one of your heroes, buddy, and one of the
Yeah.
true great Americans, the immortal Hulk Hogan.
He's American made. Love him or hate him, I know there's been all sorts of banter online, but no one can take away what Hogan contributed to the world of pro wrestling and what he meant to so many that went into that field and so many people that grew up as a young child, as I was, when he was dropping that leg on the Iron Sheik, body slamming Andre the Giant at WrestleMania 3. And even in the 90s, when I came back to wrestling after leaving it for a while, he's the guy that brought me back with the NWO. So, love him or hate him, the world lost a legend. He will go down as a legend. Rest in peace to the trio that we lost very recently. You will all be missed. We appreciate you all. Now, TGI Fridays. Eric, this is what we're talking.
Tell us about the appetizers, Geno.
This is what we're talking about. We are talking TGI Fridays. Back in the day, every Friday night, people were glued to the screen watching this onslaught of sitcom television. Most of the shows are very loved, remembered very fondly, and that's what we're talking about today. So we ended up, Eric and
Yeah.
I, picking three different shows, picking an episode of each show. I think we both chose well. So, Eric, would you like to give us a brief overview of TGI Fridays and lead us into our first show?
Like many kids, I had a Friday night ritual. My family would usually go out and get Burger King, and
Hmm.
then we'd sit around, eat, and as soon as 8 o'clock hit, ABC was turned right on, and we started watching TGIF. Some shows I was too young to experience firsthand, like Mr. Belvedere. But
Yeah,
his legacy lives on. It was really cool watching a few episodes of Mr. Belvedere.
yep.
You got that. You had Perfect Strangers, which we'll be covering, Full House, Family Matters, Step by Step, Boy Meets World, just all of these wonderful shows in like a 2-hour lineup. It was perfect. And between commercials and between episodes, you'd get the cast of these things just sitting around watching. So you'd see Suzanne Summers and Urkel sitting on the couch together. That was really surreal.
Yes.
I know they're all sort of interconnected in a way because, I mean, Urkel's appeared on basically all of them.
Yeah, he was a hot ticket at one time.
There is a lot of crossover in these things. So it was crazy to think that all of these shows were in the same universe.
Yeah, it is crazy, and it's going back to these shows. I didn't have the same ritual as you did. I wish I did. I would have loved Burger King. It sounds good at this moment. I had a 13-inch black and white TV in my room where I would watch these shows. I still remember how much I waited for a Friday night because on top of the shows, you had that cool, from what I remember, claymation. After these messages, those guys.
You'll
And
be right back.
yeah, that. And then also, like you said, they sat you down. This was not just a sitcom or a series of sitcoms. It was an event. We're all in it together, and it was very well put together. It hit home with a lot of people. Like I said, everyone that knows these shows, I think even if they didn't like them, they can at least concede they understand why they were charming.
It would seem like one of those things that everybody watched. It was sort of a general consensus of your friends at school. We all watched Full House. We all watched Family Matters. You could sit and talk about the episodes and the time they said hell on Full House. Oh my God. Like,
Yeah.
for a kid going to Catholic school, hearing hell coming from Jessica Tsopoulis' mouth was like, oh, you can't say that.
Oh yeah. You're right, because back then, like even like if I want to say around the same time, Cop Rock was it Cop Rock? No, NYPD Blue, I think. When they
Yeah.
showed the guy's ass and said
Dennis
shit.
Franz.
Yeah, and that was a huge deal. Now there's no holds barred now, man. Leading to the first of our 6 shows, Mr. Belvedere. Do you want to go over a brief synopsis of what Mr. Belvedere is about before we go into the
I
episode?
would, but I would like to challenge you with something first.
Okay,
Did you watch Mr. Belvedere regularly?
I did.
Can you do the theme song from Mr. Belvedere?
Oh God. Um, I don't know it by heart. I probably used to, but I do like the theme song.
Yeah.
I like
You
that.
ready? I got a
Go
little
ahead.
bit for you. You ready?
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Streaks on the china never mattered before. Who
Who
cares?
cares?
When you drop kick your jacket as you came through the door, no one glared. Oh,
Oh, great song.
one thing I will say going into this, and I'm probably going to be doing all of these theme songs.
Yes.
I miss 80s and 90s sitcom theme songs. I forgot how good and just how fucking catchy these songs are.
And in
Did
some
you?
instances they make you feel happy.
I'm pretty sure I know which one you're talking about, and
Yep.
we will get into that one because I love that song.
Oh yeah, but the Mr. Belvedere song is cool. The intro is cool where they use kind of like some still imagery and the whole trip that Mr. Belvedere made to move in with this middle class family for some reason.
There's an overwrought family in Pittsburgh who call for housekeeping services, and one day Mr. Belvedere, a British man who came from serving some, like, I think it was like the Queen of England or something like that,
Yeah.
was housekeeper for the Queen of England, or no, it was for Winston Churchill. And he came in to this family full of dumb children and overworked adults, and he just kind of ingratiated himself. I watched the pilots for every show that we watched first just to sort of get a feel for it.
Sure.
And yeah, he just kind of comes in like a house on fire. They don't want him at first, but he's forced to stay there due to a blizzard. And over the course of the day, he makes himself a little nest in their hearts. This old, overweight, British, sarcastic man ingratiates himself in his family. And
Hilarious.
it's brilliant. But the episode you chose today
Yep.
was season 4, episode 1. Do you want to tell what the plot of this episode of Mr. Belvedere is?
Yeah, we have Kevin who has graduated high school. He's the oldest son and he is joining a fraternity. This episode kind of goes into that whole fraternity bullshit, the hazing. He has to dress in women's clothing. He has to change who he is on the inside. And at the same time, Wesley, the youngest son, is prepping for a talent show at his school. Mr. Belvedere is the anchor of this family. Everyone goes to him for advice, including Kevin, including Wesley. Wesley initially goes to Belvedere, and I think he's going to play an instrument. He's not very good at it. And Belvedere's like, you must have
The
some other talent.
accordion. Yeah.
That's what it was. Yeah. You must have some other talent. So he's like, well, I got some ventriloquist book or something. And Belvedere's like, yeah, you should do that. He gets a Mr. Belvedere puppet, which is hilarious. And at the same time, Kevin goes to this frat where Dwayne, who's this complete dickhead 1980s frat guy that wants him to bring ugly women to this party. Like, we've heard of them before. If Revenge of the Nerds didn't have it, it has something similar.
They all team up with this other sorority, and they just, happen to have very homely girls in them. The popular sorority fraternity send in a bunch of pigs, and they're like, we wanted you to have more pigs for your party. Ironically, the kid who plays the eldest son, Kevin, was in the pilot for a Revenge of the Nerds TV show.
I did not know that. And he's good
Yeah,
in this.
never came to fruition.
That's a shame. Kevin, he's a nice guy. He has a good family. He's got Mr. Belvedere in his ear. He doesn't like the idea of bringing someone to a party to exploit them for being unattractive or stupid or whatever they're looking for. But he meets Audrey at the library, and she's nerdy and she's quiet. He brings her. We see why this show, this time in sitcom history, it's so good. You have a lesson to be learned here. As you're learning this lesson about treating people nicely, you have Wesley being a complete dickhead with the puppet. What did you think of Wesley being Mr. Belvedere as a puppet? Did you think that was as funny as I did?
Yeah, I did, because basically Wesley is saying everything that Mr. Belvedere would say in any given situation. But there was a really funny scene when Wesley is using the puppet to talk to his sister Heather. And he
Yes.
says, like, what's the matter, Heather? She's like, I'm fine. He goes, you don't look fine. And she goes, well, I really wanted to talk to this boy, but he isn't calling me back, and I'm not really sure. And I was like, oh, that's perfect. Just really good sitcom hijinks.
It was. I like also when he's doing the Belvedere impression on his own, and Mr. Belvedere just walks into the kitchen hearing London Bridge is falling down because I stood on it, and and Mr. Belvedere's like pissed. The fight between Belvedere and Wesley, which was an ongoing thing, was magic. I loved that he didn't get along with this brat of a young kid, and but they loved each other, but they fought, and it was such a cool, funny thing to witness.
Yeah, especially at the end when he's writing in his journal, he said something about like, "Oh, Wesley, the little sponge head."
Yeah.
This guy, Christopher Hewitt, who plays Mr. Belvedere, is just like gives the best sarcastic performance, I think, outside of like Dr. House.
Yeah.
This guy is 100% sarcasm, and he's so good. He has such amazing comedic timing.
He does, and even like the facial expressions, just great. And I tell you, one of the lines that I found was so funny. You can do political humor, and you don't have to be vile about it. You can be funny. Kevin goes to him and says he doesn't feel good about going to a geek party, and Belvedere goes, "Oh, you mean like the Republicans?" I died laughing. I'm like, that's the way you do political humor. I'm not sure if it was Reagan or Bush Sr. in the office. For the youngsters watching, it's like they were geeks. They're old guys. I found that very funny. I found like Mr. Belvedere's snappy humor very funny. And I also found this episode had a lot of heart in it. I liked how Audrey and Kevin got together and the evolution of Kevin, where he went and how he felt about her and how he felt about the frat and himself. How did you like his decisions, how this episode went, and where it went with Audrey?
I thought Audrey was a really good character. There's a great line where he goes, "What'd you get on the test?" And she's like, "Oh, I didn't do too well. I got a 97." He goes, "I got a 10."
Yes. And she's like, I'm not going to be cupping your notes.
Yeah, because he doesn't want to invite Audrey to what's called a pig party.
Yes.
But she gets upset when he doesn't invite her because Dwayne mentions it. And she's just like, "Oh, you don't want me to go to your party?" He's like, "No, it's not like you want to go to the party." Yeah. And then, flash forward to them at the party, and she sort of realizes what this party is. She throws the drink in Dwayne's face. I love that stuff. She's got Kevin on one side, she's got Dwayne on the other, and you're like, she's got this drink. You're like, she's throwing it in somebody's face.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh,
she chose right. And I loved that. I loved that Kevin at the end was just like, I don't want to join your dumb fucking fraternity. I could have seen it going either way, where he's just like, hey guys, maybe we should rethink the way we look at, women or something. But no, he's just like, fuck you guys and your stupid fraternity. I hate this.
that Belvedere talk that he had in the kitchen really added a lot to the frat scene at the end. Like Belvedere really is the heart of the show. I was really impressed with how the scenes kind of bled together and built and built and built to the final scene with Audrey and Kevin.
The final scene with Audrey and Kevin, where she says, like, I have to go collect my money or whatever, because I was also on a bet that I could find the dumbest kid in school and like tutor them or something like that. But it was, just a good little reverse there. Did you suspect that maybe she was just saying that to hurt his feelings, or?
I think it was a joke. At that point, they had made up, and she was just taking a jab at him. She was a sweetheart. They picked the right actress. They wrote it well. I was like, oh, don't take her, man, because she was spunky and fun and seemed really nice. But that guy Dwayne, who's just shallow, what a fucking douchebag. I loved this episode. I loved the message, and it was a problem at the time with hazing, with fraternity, and it probably still goes on, but it was really prevalent at this point of these asshole cocksuckers that just fucking exploit people, treat people like shit because they can. It was nice to see Kevin say, "I don't care what it means for my future. I'm doing the right thing now," and that message rules.
I loved it. I probably won't be going back to see Mr. Belvedere that much, because you can get sucked into these shows and just watch them for hours and not even realize how many episodes you watched.
Yeah, I suffered from a little bit of that during this experiment here, during the
yeah. We should stick to long form storytelling, where it's like 2 hours of a movie and it's like, okay, we're done. That's the final right there. I loved it.
Great
Good choice,
stuff.
man.
Hey, thanks, man. And I'm glad you liked that. I wasn't sure if you would, because I kind of considered Belvedere off the beaten path a little bit. It was a show I loved very much, and I hadn't watched in such a long time. Great stuff. And that episode, for some reason, stuck with me. It's the one that popped in my head. I think it was because of Wesley with the puppet. Mr.
The puppet
Belvedere.
who gets torn apart at the end by the mom.
By the mom, yes.
The mom shreds the puppet at the end of the thing. She just like walks away like she doesn't give a shit.
It was awesome, and Bob Uecker didn't have much of a role in that episode at all. I'm not sure that he was as big of a player with everyone else in the show, but I loved it. Great show, great episode, and it leads us to another great series, in my opinion, Perfect Strangers. Eric, can you tell us what Perfect Strangers is about?
Balki Bartokomous is an immigrant from Mypos, a fictional country, and he comes to Chicago to move in with his distant cousin, Larry Appleton, who is living alone for the first time after coming from a very large family. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Season 6?
Sometimes
Oh,
the
yes.
world looks perfect.
Nothing can be Is it nothing can be arranged?
Nothing to rearrange.
Nothing to rearrange. Yes.
Go ahead. You got it? You got it?
You're a better singer. Continue. This is a song that just made me happy listening to it.
Is this your favorite too? This was my favorite.
This is my favorite one, just because of how positive the song is. It gets you into the mode. Life can change. Life has curveballs thrown at you, but things can be so positive. Good things can come into your life. It makes you feel good about life in general. It's a very impactful song. I forgot all about it. Then I'm listening to it and I'm like, fuck, this song has some teeth to it. That gets
Standing
you right in the
tall on the wings of my dreams, rise and fall on the wings of my dreams.
Oh, what a
Land,
song!
thunder, wind, and hail. I'm bound for better days. What is it, Geno? It's my life.
Was it my dream?
My dream. Nothing's gonna stop me now. When that song hit, I was like, oh my God, I love this song.
Yeah, and the intro in the beginning too, where it tells the entire story. you really don't have to see any episode. You can start anywhere because you're seeing Balky at his like rural home, and you're seeing Larry in the city, and then you see them come together, and then you see them gradually kind of grow in different areas, like at the ball game and at the opera or wherever they were going when Balky was in the suit. Really set the tone. The song and how they edited the footage to really bring home who these guys are. I loved it. That is one of the best intros in sitcom history.
It sort of made me realize there is a theme to the opening credits. Is like it really just tells you the whole story of what you need to know about all these characters, so you can literally start watching
Yep.
any episode and you know what the dynamics are and you know what's going on. So like just what a brilliant move. Like, hey, you didn't catch the first 15 episodes of this? Well, we'll tell you the story in 30 seconds and then you can just start watching and it's fine. Great move. This one is season 6, episode 18, called Out of Sync. So Balky, who is working at the Chicago Tribune with Larry?
Yes. Yes, he is.
He gets approached by a music agent who says that he's got a fresh look. Okay, first of all, everyone's hair is huge. Just like everybody's hair is poofed out. It's wonderful. So this agent says that he would like to give Balky a record contract. Larry hears this and all he sees is dollar signs. Great line where he says, Balky says, I would sing for free. And Larry goes, never say that.
Larry is the backbone of this show. Clive Enright, the big slimy record producer, came in. He saw Balky dancing and moving. He saw the dollar signs of a potential star. Larry first introduces himself as Balky's cousin, and then when Enright starts talking about the money, he is now Balky's agent.
Yes.
I thought that was so funny, and I also like Balky questioning, when did you become an agent? When did you do this? When did you do that? And I loved how Larry worked Balky. He gets offered this deal. Balky really doesn't want to do the record thing. And Larry, being the kind of asshole he is, says, "Oh, I feel bad for your mama. She won't be able to see you succeed." Completely manipulates Balky to go into this music career, which I fucking love.
Wouldn't you like to make your mother proud and Mythos by coming back with a big record, a gold record under your belt?
And then he goes, "Oh, your mama doesn't need that kind of joy," and he walks away. All right, so Enright, obviously this is a nod to the whole Milli Vanilli thing at the time. And for those that
Yes.
are tuning in now that don't know Milli Vanilli, shame on you. Milli Vanilli was a big band from the late 80s that had a bunch of hits. It would later come out that the record producer ended up finding these two models and used a house band to make these tunes and put them together. It wasn't his first time doing it. He's done it multiple times before, but this was the first time he had an act that went global and viral, and it came out later that they were lip syncing. Do you remember that scandal, or were you too young?
No, I remember that scandal. I honestly just felt bad for them. Like even
Yes.
at the time, I didn't think that they did anything maliciously. It's like someone's holding your dream in front of you and like millions of dollars, and they're just like, yeah, just all you got to do is just pretend like you're singing and take all the credit for it. It's like, that's
Yep.
that'd be tough, man. I never blamed them. I always blame the record producers, but like, yeah, they tried to come out with a record after that, and it didn't do well. I mean, their reputation had already been tarnished by that point.
No, and
But
their
that's
comeback
that's
wasn't
what
bad.
happened to Fresh Balky B.
Fresh Balky B, and
He does a rap-ish music video. There's a lot of like of that record like like early 90s record swishing, I guess.
yeah, and
And
I like
then when
how his first song was about him, Fresh Young
yeah,
Balky B.
Fresh Balky B.
That was awesome.
But when they watch the music video on television with the girlfriends, they realize that unbeknownst to him, he's been lip synced. Larry wants him to keep performing.
And Larry has a point. You know, when you make a car, there's a guy that puts on the tires. There's a guy that puts in the engine. It's everyone's a piece of the puzzle. So Larry's explaining to Balky that it's just part of the game. You have different people that have different talents and be happy where you are. And Balky brings up how people, the bosses at the Tribune, take credit for the articles that Larry writes, and he's like, "How do you feel about that?" And Larry goes, "I'm okay with it." Dude, I died laughing with Larry's delivery of that. Larry's delivery in this whole thing. I forgot how funny this guy is. Larry Appleton, they should have just kept him on by himself infinitely. I
Mark,
died laughing
yeah,
with him.
Mark Lynn Baker. He was on Succession, and he directed a lot of television. So he got into directing after this.
Well, he was a man as Larry Appleton, that's for sure. So they go to Enright and they try to back out of the deal. But by this time, Enright's already got the press days set up. He's put the money in to create Balky B and make this big money thing. He's not letting Balky out of that contract. What does Balky do? I mean, what can he do? He has to obey, but he doesn't. Well, what does Balky do?
Pelkey and Larry, for some reason, get a live performance in front of a bunch of reporters. And again, what's his name? DJ Larry or something like
No,
that?
it was DJ MC Cousin. That's
They go live in front of a bunch of reporters and rap the truth that this agent is lip syncing all of his acts. He's not telling the truth. He's lying to all of them, and Balky is not as he seems. And then the reporters all, whoa, and then like rush over to the agent, like start taking his picture. And he's just like, oh, you got me.
yes.
Good ending.
Yes,
So,
and it was another moral lesson in these shows where no matter what money's put in front of you, honesty's the way to go. And although I will say this, I didn't blame Milli Vanilli either. I felt very bad for them, but also I don't necessarily blame the music producer either. They do shit like that still. It's all about packaging and maybe they may not lip sync like they used to, but they tweak the shit out of people's voices. I don't see a big difference between Ashley Simpson being ran through 18 million filters and Milli Vanilli singing someone else's music, because in the end, neither one is authentic.
no, neither one's authentic, but at least it's the actual person's voice who's singing. Milli Vanilli, they were just there for pretty faces. You can make that argument that Ashley Simpson has no talent, but at least she was the one who was actually singing and putting herself out for public display.
Yeah, it's tough because would that house band ever get the attention had it not been for Milli Vanilli? It was almost like they needed each other, right or wrong, because otherwise neither would have made it anywhere, most likely, I don't think.
Oh, it's like Cyrano de Bergerac story where the one guy is writing love letters for another guy to a woman,
Yep.
but neither of them were right. It's such a fascinating story.
Do you know the other popular band from the same music producer that was lip synced?
What year would you say?
1970s.
70s.
Yep.
Partridge Family?
Have you heard of Boney M?
No.
He sang Daddy Cool, Rasputin. Love the band. A little bit of disco influence. It turned out that not only were they lip syncing, but the singer was the producer that also produced Milli Vanilli. So he did the voice of the lead singer. It was heartbreaking to find out.
Oh, maybe that's where I got the idea from.
What? Hey, you know what? They're in the business of making money, and the music industry and the movie industry, it's not always jam packed with scrupulous, nice people.
Whenever there's money involved, you can throw your scruples out the fucking window.
I agree with you, man. Perfect Strangers, what a show. I thought going into it that Balky might annoy me after all these years. He didn't. I found him very funny, but I found Larry Appleton even funnier. Great stuff. I take my hat off to Perfect Strangers and the beginning intro as we spoke. It gets you right
Yep.
into the show.
And Bronson Pinchot, what a talent, man.
Oh my
The
God.
guy who played Balky, so good.
Yes.
Should have been way bigger than he was.
And well, in Langoliers, he brought it home.
Scaring a little girl.
For such a shitty movie and shitty book, I might add, that portrayal by Bronson Pinchot there made up for
So
the.
necessary, but so necessary.
Oh God, he overplayed it and overplayed it well. I think we're going into possibly the most popular sitcom territory right now with Full House.
You have to know this one.
I need a start to it at least.
Whatever happened to
Oh
predictability?
God, yeah, the milkman, the paperboy, evening TV. Was that the guy who sang "I Love L.A."? Was he roped into that shit?
I don't know what the guy, Jesse Frederick, I think his name was, but like
Uh,
I mean, he did this and he did Step by Step and he did Family Matters, and it was like all him.
uh,
You know, he's the guy you called when you want to make your theme song groovy.
there is a theme to these intros as well. In most of them, a character will be doing something, stop, turn around, and smile. Even though it's strange, it's really a smart idea because it makes you think to yourself, "Hey, these seem like really nice people. I want to get to know them."
Do you know why they do that?
Um, no. Why do they do that?
Because everywhere you look, everywhere you go, there's a
The
heart,
heart.
there's a hand to hold on to. That's why they do that.
Apparently so. That's well, and it works. It works. The intro is good. In Full House, you got. Correct me where I'm wrong. Bob Saget has a few kids. I think his wife dies, and for
That's what I
some
thought. Yeah.
reason, his two are they both his brothers or they're brother-in-laws with Joey
Uh,
and Jesse.
Jesse is his brother-in-law, and Joey's just his friend from college. Can we just say, speaking of annoying characters,
Oh fuck yes.
nothing against Dave Coulier, because Dave Coulier is fucking awesome. But Joey's one of the most obnoxious characters I can think of in television history.
As unfunny as it gets, terrible, obnoxious, annoying, useless. No wonder Morissette left you at the curb, buddy.
Really, really wanted to be Robin Williams, but unfortunately, he fell flat. Like I said, I watched the first episode, and he comes in and just like pisses his comedy all over the house. He's like, "Hey,
Uh,
I'm Kermit the Frog, and I'm Pee Wee Herman." You know, he's like, I'm just like,
oh god.
"Oh, shut the fuck up,
Do,
please."
do you know where he was worse than Full House? America's Funniest People. Do you remember that show?
Oh, yes, I do.
Where they brought him on and some unfunny blonde female comedian. He brought his impressions. He brought what he said was stand-up comedy. It was insufferable. And just like this show is insufferable when he's on the screen. You're totally right. He sucks. Not that this show is good. I would say this is the weakest of the shows. My God, anytime he's on the screen, oh, I'm like, fuck, this asshole again?
He was there for comic relief, I guess, on a sitcom, but he just fell flat. Again, nothing against Dave Coulier. He seems great, but it just like, wait, what an unfunny character. And it's like, no wonder your comedy career didn't take off in 8 seasons of Full House.
Oh, and they also had the laugh track on repeat in this show.
So this is a very special episode of Full House,
Yes.
wouldn't you say?
I would say you chose season 4, episode 8, Shape Up, which, much like the other episodes, it is focusing on a topic that's relatable to many. We're looking at an eating disorder with
DJ.
DJ. Kimmy, her friend, is having her 14th birthday, and it's going to be a pool party. And DJ just thinks she's got too much meat on the bones and has to
Mhm.
burn some off, and does it
Yes,
in a very destructive way.
and unfortunately, that's the same day that Jesse brings cake samples for his wedding. And
Oh my god.
hilarity ensued. The audience goes insane when Michelle jumps on the table, like the baby kid jumps on the table and just starts eating all the cake. Like the audience went nuts. And
Oh
like
yeah.
not in like a canned laughter kind of way. Like they flipped out.
I would have freaking punted her like a football for doing that bullshit. Danny needs to raise his fucking kids better. Um, you know how much those cake samples probably cost? You got to figure
Oh, yeah.
$5 each. That little fat shit jumps on the table and eats them all. Everyone's laughing, including the people around. They're encouraging this behavior. When she gets older and marries some guy, that guy's gonna go through hell because she's never been told no. Fuck that little kid. I hated that. That pissed me off. Because half that cake looked fucking delicious.
Damn, you're the one with children.
And I raised them right.
They never ate my cake samples.
If I got cakes, let's say for argument's sake, I was leaving my wife and bringing cake samples to my family for my next wedding. And one of my kids were that age and said, I want the cake, and jumped on the table, started eating the cake. I'd drive right over to the orphanage. Drop him right at the door. That's how you're going to act? Get out. And
they're sitting in the orphanage going, 15 minutes ago, I was eating fancy cake in my dad's home.
I guess Dad likes chocolate cake that much. And yeah, because
Overtly.
I hated what's her name is a Michelle when she's like let's pig out. Also in the beginning
Yeah.
she's a dickhead too, and she asks Uncle Jesse for some of those sugar puff, and she dumps out the whole freaking box just to get the toy and walks away and makes a sly comment to Jesse like I don't know what it was, like fuck you Uncle Jesse. I forget what she said, but something like that.
There's a
Shove it
lot
up
of
your
we
ass.
watched a lot of episodes. You're right. DJ ends up very insecure about her body, so she stops eating for days. Has this thing about eating ice pops. So she's not eating for 3 days, and she makes Stephanie promise that she won't tell their dad that she's not eating. So the whole family decides that they want to go to the gym.
God,
Joey,
yeah.
acting like a jackass, just goes around being like, oh, how much you bench? He's like 505, and he's like, yeah, so you're like first time or whatever. Fun fact, though, the bodybuilder that Joey talks to, he was
Mhm.
in the WBF.
Oh, wow. He should have taken Joey and bent him over a table and shoved one of those barbells up his ass.
Why?
The thing is,
Why?
two things. One, Joey coming in with that, hey, how much you bench? The fact he's talking like that is basically saying if you're a weightlifter, you're a meathead. That's
Yep.
one. And two, that guy with all those bulging biceps and muscles, that takes a shit ton of fucking dedication to get there. And you got some chubby little douchebag walking in to impress who? Who's he trying to impress? Uncle Jesse?
Yeah,
Fuck.
he's trying to impress all the girls in there. That's what leads them to aerobics class.
Uh, if I was that WBF guy, Uncle Joey wouldn't be able to sit down for 2 months. This guy sucks. He immediately absorbs any humor out of the scene, and no matter how many laugh tracks they jammed in there, it wasn't going to save that bullshit.
This try hard comedy. People who think they're funny and they try to make everything a joke and they're just like trying to like one up everyone around them. Those are the most obnoxious fucking people ever. Granted, that's probably what people think about you and me, but that's okay because
Maybe.
we're lovable and we're not going around treating bodybuilders like an asshole.
No, I have nothing but respect for bodybuilders. I have respect for everyone except for Uncle fucking Joey. Fuck him.
What did you think about the Michelle workout scene? This is why this show is not funny. The whole crux of this scene is the boys take Michelle into the baby gym and she jumps on a trampoline.
Yep.
And then Joey's like, let's do it in slow motion. Oh. And
Oh
now she's
God.
going to try to walk across this beam. I don't think babies inherently are cute or
Yep.
children are inherently funny.
I agree.
I have to know them and I have to be attached to them emotionally for me to like them. Like
Yep.
I never thought this shit was funny.
It wasn't at
Even though
all.
this show is strangely addicting, but I never really ever laughed at it.
I think what makes this show is obviously there's no humor in it. Obviously it's insufferable, but there's always that ending segment with Bob Saget saying something heartwarming. So it leaves you feeling good, even though they've been kicking you in the nuts for 21 minutes. Totally with you.
Speaking of feeling good,
Yeah.
speaking of feeling good, DJ is doing way too much cardio and she ends up falling over at the gym. It comes out DJ hasn't eaten in 3 days. And then Danny gives her a lecture about, hey, this is what anorexia or bulimia is. After being kind of like surrounded by her family and like cornered, like DJ like takes off. Yeah, I would too. Like if I felt like everybody was lecturing me all at once, I'd run
Yeah.
away too. Although I
Well,
will say this,
mhm.
Candace Cameron is really good in
She
these
is.
scenes. She's a very good actor. Danny gives her that talk about like it's not what you look like on the outside, it's who you are. And she's like, why are these people your friends? And she
Mhm.
says, because I like them and they like me. And it's like, yeah, they're not going to care what you look like, which is like a great message. Anytime you go to a pool party, you always think, oh man, I haven't worked out or blah, blah, blah. And it's like, but these, like, you're here and these are your friends. They're not going to think ill of you. They're not
Oh
going to
yeah.
be like, oh, there goes Tubby right there. They're not going to do that. And if they do that, fuck them. Like, they don't deserve to have you as a friend.
Yeah, I agree, and I want to say something too. That aerobics instructor was hot as hell. What did you think?
I don't really remember her that
She was
much.
the one in the thong and the spandex pants. I was going to bring it
Oh,
up because wearing a thong over spandex pants just must have been to appease the network. But this chick was super hot. I can deal with Uncle Joey hamming it up just as this chick runs back and forth talking to them, showing her beautiful figure. God bless her. I said, okay, this episode is now getting into the watchable area. It ended with, like you said, the father and daughter talk, which I thought was fantastic, and it's true.
yeah.
It is.
Very, very well acted on both of them. And although it does solve the whole issue of anorexia with one conversation.
Well, in the defense of anorexia, she hadn't gotten there yet. She was just starving herself. She wasn't full blown Bob Saget nipped it in the bud. The thing is that everyone is self conscious. It's human nature because of how we're designed and how marketing programs us and all that stuff. So no wonder being a teen girl, DJ was very self conscious because Kimmy is thin as a rail. Cameron, oh, what's her real name? I forget her name.
Candace
Cameron.
Cameron Burr.
Thank,
Yeah.
thank you, Candace Cameron of Hallmark movie fame. She's pretty, but she was like girl next door pretty. So she was the right character to kind of be like intimidated by the supermodels that she saw. This episode, despite the bullshit, despite the laugh tracks, despite that little fucking shit Michelle, despite that idiot Joey, it kind of worked. And I also liked the aunt, Becky. I thought Becky
Lori
was,
Loughlin.
yeah, I don't like the shoulder pads on that coat she wore.
Oh, you blame the 90s on that one.
Yeah, she had a good figure. She should have said, "Hey, I'm not wearing this. I'm gonna show my figure off. This is about figures,
She
isn't
did,
it?"
didn't she? Wasn't she? She was also in aerobics class.
I missed her. I was too busy looking at the aerobics lead. Ugh.
Well, maybe if you paused it for a different reason and kept two hands on the remote,
I'm gonna write my note right now. I'm gonna watch this episode again.
break
So
out the wine, the candles.
yeah, but
You romance yourself a little bit, you know.
no, I would have to say no to that because 90% of that episode would keep me out of the mood, despite the fact that the aerobics instructor was hot, Becky was hot, and that guy with the muscles, he was packing
Was
down
hot.
below.
I know, man. Yeah. This is your bulge corner. Talk about the bulge if you need to, man.
Well, I didn't really see his bulge, but you have to assume a weightlifter don't have much of one. They say steroids shrink that shit.
Danny Tanner should have had a talk with him too.
Yeah, take him aside and talk to him. Yeah, people love you without muscles.
I had a question.
Okay.
So after watching all these about like well-adjusted families and whatnot, do you think a lot of people of, between our ages would think that this is what parenting is? Like they would think all you had to do was like have one conversation with your daughter and her image issues or body dysmorphia is completely cured. No more anorexia or bulimia.
Right.
Do you think a lot of people looked at these television shows and said, oh yeah, I could be a parent. Look at the way Danny Tanner handles everything.
Yes and no. When I grew up, I didn't have a family like these guys. I never took it very seriously. It didn't seem legit to me. But as I have my own family, I do see some parallels. I don't go to gyms and do impressions of bodybuilders yet, but I have taken my kids aside and have had
Probably because you have some
conversations.
self-respect.
Yeah, this is true. And plus, I don't want to get my ass kicked because a guy who benches 500 could probably throw me through the fucking wall. There's something to be drawn from these shows that's legit. Obviously, a lot of it isn't always applicable. Obviously, one conversation won't solve everything, but that one conversation is a conversation sometimes people are afraid to have. So if this show prompted people to have it, yeah, that's a good thing. And I think it probably did. I think people saw that and said, hey, there's something wrong with my kid. I'm going to try this approach. I think people did look at it that way. And I think it encouraged people to have families, to have these conversations, and to just be good people that focused on the good stuff rather than the fringe things. So
That's a good point because I guess I never really thought of these as like interesting or open television shows. But I guess, yeah, maybe if you're watching it with your kid and you just kind of turn to him and be like, do you ever think about like, are you insecure about your body at all? Yeah, it could be like a nice icebreaker between parents and children. I didn't think of it that way. Good point.
obviously, if you see the kid eating the cake and you tell your kid, hey, I'll beat the shit out of you, eat that cake like that, you just solved another problem. So we're at the halfway park. We're the
Yep.
halfway mark.
Moving on quickly from beating your children.
Which I don't condone even when they fuck you out of $500 worth of wedding cake. So we are at the halfway
This has
mark.
been Geno McGahee's PSA to budding parenting.
It works. Hey, I'm a good parent. My kids love me to pieces because I do everything right. But also,
And they
you
fear and respect me.
don't eat my cake. When you do have kids, you will find out you buy things that isn't your favorite, but you know they don't like. Wheaties, right? Wheaties aren't my favorite cereal, but I buy them because my kids don't like Wheaties, and I'll be able to eat them. Unlike the box of empty Cocoa Pebbles that I try to pour into a bowl, those go like fucking crazy. So yeah, I forget what my point is, but I like Wheaties.
They just wanted the toy anyway.
Yeah. Oh, if my kid did that, bam. No, no, that's a joke. Um,
Orphanage.
but anyway, Eric, every episode we are just so awestruck by your 2 minute movie review. It is a Danny Tanner speech at the end of every episode. What do you have lined up for us today with your 2 minute movie review, which will give you 2 minutes, but we don't hold you to it? What do you got?
Well, as an amuse-bouche, I saw the movie Drop, which is on Peacock right now. It was a fun little thriller about a woman who's on a date and she keeps getting these very threatening drops that get progressively more and more dangerous and crazy. Check it out. It's a fun little thriller. It's 90 minutes. It'll go by. The coup de grace, my friend.
Yes.
I went to the movie theaters and saw this movie called Eddington, directed by Ari Aster, who did Hereditary and Midsommar and Beau is Afraid.
Nice.
It's about a small town sheriff in New Mexico who runs for mayor during the COVID outbreak in May of 2020, and he has to fight the popular incumbent mayor. And that sounds kind of boring, but you cannot predict where this movie is going. It is insane. It is probably one of the craziest experiences I've had in the theater. It was just like me and like one other guy in the theater, but like things were happening and I jumped forward and was like, "Oh my God." Like I was so involved in this story. It stars Joaquin Phoenix, Pedro Pascal, Emma Stone, Austin Butler. Got an amazing cast. And it's sort of about how we all live on the internet and how we experience the internet and how that shapes us and how it affects our relationships in the real world. Let's go into like algorithm stuff, and it's really good at capturing sort of the emotion behind all the things that we watch online, why we watch the things we watch, and how it affects us emotionally. It's sort of a give and take with the internet where we shape it in an algorithm and then the algorithm shapes us. I know that sounds kind of boring. It's on the crazy train, bro, to quote Ozzy. I can't
saw the
I can't
trailer.
really I can't get into too much about it, but like this movie is insane. And just like sit back and just watch it and just like sort of go let the story like take you over, because holy shit, this movie was good. It's one of those movies you're like, oh, I wish they made more movies like this nowadays.
Yep.
Because it's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Recommend it. Eddington.
Well, Eddington, it sounds awesome. I want to see it. I did see the trailer. You shared it with me. If you're going to make a movie that's going to exploit the chaos, the madness, the behavior, the misbehavior of people, the pandemic is a place to start. I saw more bullshit during the pandemic than I've seen in any other part of my life. It was such a crazy time. It's still like a dark cloud that hangs over. I want to see that film, and I want to see.
You should, because it
Yeah,
is, while being very political, it's
yep.
also very apolitical. There's no sides taken in this movie. This is what these characters are doing, and you'll recognize a lot of people you know, and maybe even a little bit of yourself in it too.
That's awesome. You look for that in a movie. I don't think really anyone is against politics in a film. It's when there's an agenda on either side or any side. If you can take a film, and I'm not sure this film is like this, but I get it from your description to where it just absorbed everything and
Mhm.
just put it out there of this is how this personality would have reacted to this situation and how this personality would have reacted to this situation and how they would react to each other. That's very compelling to me because I saw it in real time like everyone else did. I definitely I want to check that out. And Phoenix, you can't beat that guy. That guy is a great actor.
And after seeing like Napoleon and all these other movies where he's just like, doing these big acting choice and stuff, I was kind of getting a little like tired of him.
Yep.
But watching this movie, I'm just like, holy fuck. Like, I think this movie is going to be nominated for Best Picture. It is. I don't want to say it's my favorite movie of the year because I don't do that, but I'm just like, I can't think of another movie that like really grabbed me like this one did. And it's told in such a like objective observational way. It
Yep.
doesn't say like what's right or wrong. These are these characters. We're not taking sides. We're just showing you like what it was
Yep.
like. And it just wow, I was astounded at this film.
And is it currently only at cinemas or is it available streaming, or do you know?
Currently only at cinemas. I would love for people to go see this in theaters. I really want like mid-budget movies to come back. This is like a $25 million movie or something like that. But like
Yep.
as long as the story's good, like who gives a fuck,
That's the
Like
name of the game. Name of the game is
go see it in theaters, please.
well, okay, and it sounds like it's worth a watch. So everyone listening, go see it. I want to see it, and yeah, I look forward. I also look forward to the Naked Gun reboot. I didn't at first, but
I know you were saying that.
all that promo shit they're doing, and Liam Neeson, I like him. Pam Anderson, I like her. They're likable. So I might go just to see it because I like them. There's something to be said. Have I brought up Drew Barrymore before? Drew Barrymore.
Oh, not in like 3 or 4 episodes,
Okay, Drew
maybe.
Barrymore is a good example of she's not a great actress, but I just like her, so I support her. So this is how I feel about these two, and I shall check it out. Hopefully on big screen.
I'm
Hopefully
gonna
I
do a
get to it.
super cut of all the times you've mentioned Drew Barrymore.
Yeah, that's just like likable chick. Okay, so halfway point. We're now going into the tail end of the halfway point, and we go into Family Matters, which I would argue is the second most popular show in our 6 shows, just behind Full House. Would you agree with that, or do you think it's more popular than Full House?
Because of how big Urkel is, I would put Family Matters over Full House. I know Michelle was very popular, was a
Yep.
very popular character and like had her own thing, but like fucking Urkel was everywhere in the early 90s.
And yeah, Urkel even had his own board game. Do you remember
Oh,
that?
his own board game, had his own doll.
It's weird because you watch Urkel and he just is so useless and annoying, but he captured something. I think sometimes you have a character that's just so outlandish that people latch onto him. But fuck, man, I had a hard time with him for sure. But anyway,
I would disagree with you. Well, anyway, so Family Matters was 9 seasons, 9 seasons, 215 episodes, and it's about a middle class family in Chicago trying to like stay afloat while living with Carl's mother and trying to fend off their obnoxious neighbors, Steve Urkel. Yeah, so okay, I'll say this, and
hmm
I watched a lot of Family Matters in the past month.
okay, yep,
Steve Urkel is a comedic genius. His physical comedy is almost unparalleled. I think he's a better physical comedian than Jim Carrey. Like I said, I watch a lot of these. His timing, his delivery, his physicality. There's one episode where he stands up to this bully
hmm
who's like harassing Laura. He takes off a mitten and slaps the guy in the face. It's one of those things that like no matter how many times I watch it,
hmm
I can't stop laughing at it because it's so funny.
uh,
It's so funny. He just like he takes it. He just it's this like big like nylon mitten and it makes this amazing oh like sound and the guy sells it so well.
yeah, I saw
Sorry.
potential. Like I
I'm
saw like
sorry, man.
there was one thing Urkel did in this episode that I thought was funny when he spoke to Willie and Waldo. He made a comment about either speaking slower or just insulting their intelligence, and I thought that was pretty funny. Had they leaned into that more rather than making this cartoon character that was just annoying, I would have enjoyed it more. Anyway, this episode, season 2, episode 18, one of the most infamous episodes where the Urkel, the dance, was created. We get a beginning with the whole family there. The family's huge. They've added a shit ton of characters. and they're
Well,
deciding where they.
can I just add something really quickly?
Hmm.
This show has like a rare condition.
This day and age.
Reading on the newspaper page, nothing tradition of the grand design. Some people say it's even harder to find.
Man, that sounds like the I Love LA guy. I know it's not him. He's probably too expensive to get, but that was
As
another.
days go. No, you keep talking. I'll do
Yeah,
the song
but
under you.
but that song
Days
is about
go
family
by.
love. You ever try
It's the
talking?
bigger love of the
See, you can't
family.
talk when someone sings. It's impossible. Um, but that
I should
song
also mention this is a
is
Perfect
about.
Stranger spinoff as well.
That's right, because Harriet was the woman that ran the elevator at the Tribune, and she brought her boyfriend or husband Carl in, and they spun it off to this. And so, but you do get the song is awesome. It's about family. It's about loving each other. This is where we should be in a society where it should be not material driven. It should be family and love driven. And so it does get you immediately there. They're trying to figure out where they're going to go on vacation. Carl wants to go to a lake. I was offended when the grandmother piped in. That grandmother lives in that house rent free. You shut the fuck up. You're going to go where we tell you to go, or you're not going to go anywhere. You can stay home. She was pretty pushy for an old bird that doesn't pay a dime rent, don't you think?
I think she is helping out with the bills. If
Really?
I remember from the first season, if I remember correctly, she is like she does move in to help out with the bills.
Oh, I'm guessing she can have a say. Now you have Aunt Rachel. Aunt Rachel makes a very strange comment here. She wants to go there and catch some rays and catch a man on his knees. I don't know if I want to catch a man on his knees. What could he possibly be doing, Eric?
Proposing to her.
You don't catch someone proposing to you.
I mean, like if you're fishing for it, sure you do.
You're telling me you'd walk up and someone would just say, "Hey, will you marry me?" You just catch them there waiting for someone? No, 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 no.
Okay, fine. Then you're gonna force me to say it. You're gonna
Say it.
force me to say it.
Say it.
Perhaps he's a master of the cunnilingual arts.
Boom.
Perhaps
I rest my case.
you were trying to get me to admit that.
Yep.
I did. Can we move forward amicably?
That was a mouthful.
Hey-oh.
Now we have a party that's being planned for
Yep.
Maxine. She's getting a party. She's with Laura, and they're going to invite one of the highlights of this episode, Harvey Garvey. He doesn't eat much because he only has 4 teeth. That was another fucking Urkel nod I have to give because he showed up and said, "Wow, all the A-listers are here. Hey, Harv." And I, I thought
And
that was
that kid played his teeth so well. Hey.
he did. Harvey Garvey was one of the best characters of this episode. So you have Maxine has this big party, kind of like unsupervised, on top of the roof of their apartment building.
Can I just bring this up real quick because I saw this right off the bat? There's
Yep.
one extra in the back stage right corner who is looking higher than a Colorado mountain and just dancing and like staring up into space while someone's trying to talk to him. I don't know if this was just something the extra was doing because like one girl's trying to talk to him, he's just like looking up, just like throwing his arms in the
air. I did not notice him at all.
You'll see him next time. He's right behind Harvey Garvey.
Did you think it was weird when Urkel shows up that he screams, "Hey Harv," and then does a crotch thrust? That's not a.
That's his thing.
I think it's harassment. Harvey Garvey could probably get him kicked out of the party for such behavior.
He was just choreographing the Urkel dance before he performed it for everybody.
I'll concede that. Okay, fine. He's doing the crotch thrust to push the Urkel dance a little early. But you get Willie and Waldo, two guys up to no good. They are going to be spiking the punch, which is a no-no. You don't want to have people mistakenly drink. But this is when I really had enough with that bitch Laura. The buzzkill, the worst kind of person to have at a party. Were you as upset with her as I was when she started going off on everyone, telling them how to live their fucking lives?
It's not your party, Laura. Back the fuck off. Maxine seemed absolutely fine with them being there. And
Yep.
then Laura's like, drinking's for losers. And then she goes, I'm going to kick you out. And then the guy's like, I'm going to take all the boys with me. And that shut her up real quick.
And she should have shut the fuck up. And she has been preachy through the whole series. Always has to put her 2 cents in. Fuck her. Maxine had a right to enjoy her party, and if she wanted Willie and Waldo and Harvey Garvey there, that's her business. Even when Maxine invited Harvey Garvey, Laura objected. It's not your party, Laura. Sit your big ass down and shut your trap. Maxine's here to have a good time. I'm with you 100%, Eric.
So Waldo and Willie convince Urkel to drink. Okay, there's a really funny line where Urkel says, "You are incorrigible." And then Waldo says, "He just called you a gerbil."
I love Waldo.
Waldo is an amazing character.
And I think his last name is Faldo, if I'm not mistaken.
Waldo, Geraldo, Faldo.
and and he has also one of the best lines in the episode. They are arresting Willie and Waldo for adding the alcohol, and the cop goes, "You got one phone call," and Waldo goes, "Can it be a 976 number?" I die. I'm like, that is so funny. But before that, the meat of this episode is do the Urkel. So Steve Urkel realizes that people are not having a good time. So he decides to, oh, Jesus Christ, get on the dance floor and do the most obnoxious, irritating, bullshit, stupid dance and song in film history, do the Urkel. And everyone joins in and everyone does it. Now, Eric, have you ever been at a party where some stupid asshole geek came up with a dance and everyone jacked off to it like they did here?
I've never been to a dancing circle jerk, as you have mentioned. If I did have a friend that would do that, it would probably be you. But
Most likely.
Everybody's done the electric slide and the Macarena and stuff like that, but nothing spontaneous. And that's so well choreographed that everybody can just pick it up in like 5 seconds. Anytime you see these like things where there's like a choreographed dance scene, like She's All That or something like that, you're just like, how do you all know this? Get a life, all of you, please.
Oh God, yes.
And like, if everybody's in on the dance, then who is it for?
Yeah, and not to shit on Laura even more. She was out of step. All your all of your fucking preaching, get with the program, bitch. That sucked, but when Urkel showed up, I'm like, fuck this asshole. Then he's just obnoxious and annoying, and now they're putting him on full display. Why? And then when he gets drunk and he's saying things like basically in reverse, that was supposed to be funny. It wasn't funny. I was not a fan of Urkel or drunk Urkel, and I would debate his talent with you.
There's some episodes he's just brilliant in. There's one where with the guy in this Willie, where they get into, I think it's the same episode that he smacks him with the mitten. They get into a boxing match.
Mm-hmm.
Utterly hysterical. There's one where he gets like caught up in like a coat rack or something, and like just like as an actor, I'm watching the logic, because sometimes you see people do physical comedy and there's no logic to it.
Yeah.
Oh, he's just like trying to keep the coat, like they'll try to keep like the coat rack on. The way he does it is like fucking flawless, man. I'm serious. Like, as a comedic actor, there's a reason why he was iconic. I'm telling you.
Maybe it's just the bad character from my standpoint. The character didn't resonate with me.
There's another quality that I loved about Urkel, and I'm not saying I'm in love with the character or anything.
Sure.
But like, he's a nerd. He's scrawny. He's kind of weak, but he's not afraid of bullies.
I like that.
I like that aspect of him. Where he'll stand up to people when something's really important to him. He'll fight for what's right, even though he does have these other asshole qualities, like he harasses Laura every day. He's an interesting character, to say the least.
You have to give credit to, and I knew a guy like this, of people that are weak but fearless.
Mhm.
It's a very rare combination, but when you see it, it's spectacular. And so I agree with that. I used to have a friend. This guy was about 120 pounds, and he used to tell me the worst they can do is kill me. I wish I had that fearless spirit that he had, because I saw it on display, and it rattled people that it shouldn't have rattled because they didn't know what to make of it. And neither did I, but I appreciated it, and I appreciate it in the Urkel character. That part I really like.
Urkel gets wasted because Waldo and Willie keep feeding him the spike punch. He winds up standing on a ledge and falling off the building and is hanging on the ledge and is about to fall. Rachel, who I guess was there the whole time and watched all this shit happen.
Apparently. I thought she left early.
I thought so too, but I guess she was there. She goes down and she tight ropes across a clothesline to get to Steve Urkel. And he's like, have you ever done this before? She's like, nope. I don't know. Maybe there was a better way to handle that. I don't know.
One, a clothesline wouldn't have held her big booty. Two, you would have never had mastered that spur of the moment. That shit is a thing that you learn, that you train to do. Have you ever seen the movie The Walk with the guy who walked between the Twin Towers?
Joseph Gordon-Levitt?
Yes. That years
no,
and years of, oh my God, dude, what a movie. Fantastic movie. And fantastic documentary about it. But my point is, Rachel would not have been able to do that. What they should have done is had her fall to her death and had Urkel land on top of her and he survived. It'd be more believable.
Thus making Richie an orphan.
I don't like that kid either. That kid sucks.
So Rachel ends up saving Steve, and then the police come and take away Willie and Waldo. This show got way too fucking serious about teen drinking.
And too preachy as well.
Fucking, it was probably Laura that narked on him too.
But we do get the best scene of the show. Carl Winslow, he is convinced that no one listens to him. He never gets his way. And he walks into the house and they say, Carl, we figured out the vacation plans. And he goes, oh, you did you? And he slams down his coat and he mentions how he makes 50% of the family income and that he never gets his way. And he is basically reprimanding his mother and his wife in the funniest way. Reginald VelJohnson is a prize. He owned this. He is hilarious. Eric, I could not stop laughing at this scene. And when he finds out that they're going where he wants to go, the change in his demeanor, his exit from the room where he bumps into the table, he looks back and then walks right into the wall. I laughed so hard. I love Reginald VelJohnson. I think he is just such a force on the screen. Any film he's in, he owns it. It's just sad that he wasn't in more.
Yeah, and it is so unfortunate that Steve Urkel sort of overshadowed the entire rest of the show because Reginald VelJohnson is utterly hysterical. He's really good at drama too. He's very good at drama and never gets enough credit for that. But his whole thing where there's I make 50% of the bacon here, and he goes, you eat about 90 of it. And I'm like, this is what I want from a sitcom. I don't need Urkel to hijack every episode. Carl is my favorite character, maybe in all of the sitcoms. He's so talented.
I agree with you, and I loved the quick humor where he is, I make 50% of the bacon and you eat 80% of it. This is the stuff. This is the stuff my favorite sitcom of all time is Three's Company, and watching the Ropers go back and forth with the quick humor, I'm like, this is what it's about, where it's insult humor, it's quick humor. This show had a little bit of it. The goal of these shows should be to give some sort of lesson, but also make you laugh and hopefully belly laugh. In that scene, Reginald VelJohnson made me belly laugh. I was dying. He was so good, so funny, and I wish they added him more. It would have been great if he crashed the party for any reason, because he is the show. Urkel got the hype. Carl Winslow was the show. He's
so good at being the comedic fool, but also being the straight man when someone else is being comedic. Oh, God, the guy's so talented. He is. It really pisses me off.
You and me both. I love the guy. He's another guy that just seems so goddamn likable. When you see an actor on scene, their inner self comes out, and you can kind of feel their aura. With Reginald VelJohnson, he's just the sort of guy you'd meet him on the street, and he'd be like, "Hey, how you doing?" and shake your hand. Like John Candy came off that way, and you know what? He was that way. There's very few exceptions. So
Never heard a bad thing about him ever.
me either. Like Clint Eastwood. Clint Eastwood is a guy. He seems like a total badass. He is. I've seen him in interviews. I'm like, he's not acting. That's just who he is. So here with Reginald Vell Johnson, you just feel like he's probably just a very generous, kind, fun person, and it bleeds out. And I love that character. I love him in everything he's in.
I met Clint Eastwood one time. He was a very nice guy.
Nice. I met Dee Snider once. No
Oh,
comment.
yeah?
The next up, Step by Step, season 1, episode 8.
Can you do it? Do you know it?
Oh, shit. No, you're gonna have to. We'll be back better the second time around. I remember that.
The dream got broken. Seemed like all
Oh,
was
God.
lost. What would be the future? Would you pay the cost? You won't. Will there ever be a second time around? Meow, meow.
Yeah, that you know what? And the beginning takes place actually two places. One at an amusement park, and one at a green screen with a fake roller coaster.
there's like a tsunami about to hit the fucking roller coaster. They're like visually comp in an ocean next to.
Oh.
They did it at like a Six Flags in California, but they just like it's supposed to be in Wisconsin.
Oh, God. Now we have an actress here. She was rebounding from She's the Sheriff, and before that, Three's Company, Suzanne Summers. As much as Three's Company is my favorite sitcom of all time, Suzanne Summers contributed very little, and I found her to be very unfunny on that show, carried by John Ritter and Joyce DeWitt, and also the Ropers and Mr. Furley. So they launch her into She's the Sheriff, that bombs, and then they bring her into Step by Step. She's equally unfunny in this sitcom. The scene where she's doing the name game, I wanted to reach into my TV, grab Suzanne Summers, and throw her out of my house. Were you as annoyed by that scene? And were you also annoyed by the song, The Fucking Name Game?
Kill me if I ever have to hear the name Kane again. I don't know who thought that would be a funny addition to the scene. Is
Yep.
that some sort of Suzanne Summers reference that I just don't get? Like, was she famous for doing the name game or something?
No,
like it goes on for a long fucking time.
the only reason that song may have been popular, there's so many Tonys in the United States, and there is a line that says, "Let's do Tony." Maybe they thought they'd get something out of it, but what a fucking terrible song. And I'm a big fan of oldies. I love oldies. Oldies are fucking awesome. If they played that song and Don't Worry, Be Happy at the same time in each one of my ears, I would jump off a bridge. Terrible shit. And
you can land on Urkel and be safe.
If your fantasy is a land on Urkel, that's your business. Don't fucking put it on me, pal. Is that
what? So aggressive.
I'm sorry.
The name game really got to you.
I hate the name game.
Suzanne
And why is it banana of all fucking fruits the one that most looks like a dick? You have Dana. Dana wants to go to Arlo Prime's concert at a bar.
Okay, just in case no one's seen Step by Step, Frank and Carol, Patrick Duffy, and Suzanne Summers like spontaneously get married on vacation, and Frank moves his 3 like gross children in with Carol's 3 uptight children. So it's basically just a Brady Bunch knockoff.
It is, and Duffy has great hair. Did you see that?
Oh, it was a wonderful mane.
You know who it reminded me of? 2 people: the lead singer of Air Supply and Conway Twitty. He kind of had that same do.
I thought Conway Twitty was more like combed, almost Elvis-ish.
No, you're thinking.
Am I not thinking of the wrong guy?
No, you're thinking of the right guy. You're thinking of 1960s Conway Twitty. I'm talking 1980s Conway Twitty.
Oh, I see. I always get those two confused.
No, you educate yourself. But we have we have
episode season 1, episode 8, Just for Kicks.
I'm sorry. It's not.
Still, the name that's got that banana dick in your ear from the
banana dick. Educating yourself on Conway Twitty hairstyles. I'm all fucked up tonight.
No subject is taboo on subject to changes.
By the way, Conway Twitty, if you're listening from the afterlife, Twitty City was a nice place to visit back in the day. I had a good time at that amusement park. Have you ever been to Twitty City?
You're making that shit up.
No, it's true. Twitty
No,
City was a
there's no such place as Twitty City. Knock it
you,
off.
you want to bet?
It's not funny. It's nope. I don't want to bet because now I'm sure I'm gonna lose.
You will. There is a theme park. I'm not sure if it's still open. It was in Tennessee called Twitty City. It was very close to Dollywood, another amusement park owned by Dolly Parton. True story.
Well, the more I know.
There you go. That's why I say educate yourself on Tennessee, Twitty City, Conway Twitty's hairstyle, and Dolly Parton.
This has become a very special episode of Subject to Changes. We're all learning lessons here.
We are, and we are learning about Dana.
I
don't like Dana.
I had such a crush on her when I was younger. For some reason, she was the one on TGIF I had the biggest crush on.
More than Duffy?
More than Duffy. His hair may be wonderful, but he didn't have anything on Dana. Who wants to go see her favorite artist, Arlo Prime, at a club called Jake's? Cody, Patrick Duffy's nephew on the show, played by Sasha Mitchell of Kickboxer 2, 3, and 4 fame, is trying to serenade her. Another Urkel situation where Cody's 24 years old in this. Dana is 16. Stop. Everybody.
Cody, though, he's kind of like not all there. Dana's super smart and he's dumb. So I think that's where they saw it evened out.
She wants to go to Jake's until Frank tells Carol that Jake's is pretty much just like a dangerous bar. And then Carol forbids Dana to go, but then Dana sneaks out, doesn't she? And she goes off to the dangerous bar. There's a really funny scene where Dana bribes her step brother and sister, bribes him with $5, but doesn't bribe her like blood sister. And she goes, how come you didn't pay me? She goes, your blood, they're dirt. Yeah. That's a great line.
I laugh when Frank in the kitchen and Suzanne Summers was there and she's talking to Dana and she forbids her from going. Right when Suzanne is going to say the name of who talked her out of it, she stops and Dana goes, oh, was it Frank Bobank? And I laughed at that, even though I hate the song. I thought that was a very, very funny throwback to that first scene. Not funny was the Frank's Biker Bar. These bikers did not seem like legit bikers to me. What did you think of these bikers? And what did you think of the depiction of bikers? Is this what bikers are like?
No, it looked like a bunch of stuntmen that were waiting for something to happen. They just she walks in, someone just randomly throws a beer bottle at the wall, and it's like, okay. Her friend Bernice bails on her. That's her ride, but she just leaves her alone at the bar, and she's waiting for this musical act to come on. And this guy named Psycho, a biker, decides that she's going to be his chick, and he asks her to dance, quote unquote. She's 16. This is a weird dynamic in this.
Well, you also have when they walk in, immediately a biker walks up to them and starts making kissy noises at them. Now,
hey, baby.
It's so unrealistic and silly. Like any biker, and I'm not a biker. I don't want to be a biker. I think that whole waving your hand at another biker because you got the same bike is silly. I have a Kia van. When I see another Kia van, I don't wave at them and say, hey, buddy, we got the same van. That's cool, bro. But I do think the bikers...
You're not a leather daddy like Psycho is.
I think bikers are in between this and something cool. But they're in the middle. They're not as lame as this. It's hard to be a cool dude biker when you're waving at other bikers like that. That just always seemed lame to me.
Beep, beep. Well, I mean, runners do it. Runners do it together. Beep, beep.
I think you're gonna get beat up for the beep beep before I get beat up for the waving comments. So,
honk, honk. What's that horn they have on children's bicycles?
Nice chaps, brother. Yeah. But proceed before we get ourselves beat up.
So Dana is there. I don't know what they're going to do to Dana. They all just kind of start gathering around her. All of a sudden, Cody steps in, comes to Dana's rescue. This is why I remember this particular episode very well. Cody ends up kicking the shit out of all of the bikers in this bar.
He does.
And it's awesome. There's no rhyme or reason to it. Like he goes, "Hey, we're just gonna leave," and then Psycho's like, "Well, she's staying," and he's like, "No, we're all just gonna leave." And then all of the bikers in the bar are on Psycho's side, I guess, even though like
Yeah,
everybody in there is like fighting before that, but
I
they
didn't
all
get
come
that.
together to like pick on this 16-year-old girl.
This episode, obviously, they knew Sasha Mitchell was a martial artist, and they wrote it into the episode, which was cool. The action sequences weren't so bad, but yeah, the idea that the bikers weren't individuals, they were one unit, and that was kind of stupid. Psycho was a stupid character, but I did enjoy some of the stuff that, like, other martial artist biker was fighting Cody, and he took the mop and started splattering him in the face, saying "mop and glow," and then kicked him through the window. I thought that was pretty funny.
Who put that window there?
But my favorite part, more than that, as far as fighting goes, was Duffy. Because Duffy may not know martial arts, but he is your old school protective dad, husband, secret tough guy. And I like that he went there and handed those bikers their ass. What did you think? Did you like that Duffy was also a badass?
Oh, of course. They do that Indiana Jones Batman 89 thing where the guy just does all these flashy kicks and is just like waving his hands and like, throwing punches in the air, and then Duffy just fucking headbutts him and the guy goes down with one hit. Priceless shit. Cody and Duffy beat the fuck out of all of the bikers, even though I'm pretty sure they would have murdered these two.
For
And then
sure.
do the classic take the leader, put him on the bar, and slide him all the way down.
Which has only been
Classic.
done 10 million times, but I liked it
Oh, yeah.
anyway.
I loved it. Guy tries to approach Patrick Duffy, and then Carol flips him over the bar, and then you realize that was the guy that Dana came to see.
Which makes no sense. Why would the bikers go to see that wimp play his music? It made
Or
no
why
sense.
would he play there?
Yeah, he's a big star. So why is he there at a bar that has 10 people? Just yeah, stupid. But I did like the very ending where Dana and Duffy have their discussion. Very similar to Bob Saget's sentimental stuff in Full House, where he is a stepfather. It's tough to be a stepfather, and she's
Mhm.
adjusting. I like that a lot. I once again, Suzanne Summers has no talent. As much as I love Three's Company, I always thought she was a hindrance, and I think she's a hindrance in this show. Granted, maybe the Thigh Master helped a bunch of chubbies get into good shape, but this show, her when she flipped Arlo Prime over the bar and made that weird look, I didn't find that funny at all. I thought she sucked. What do you think?
I mean, I don't think she's that as bad as you say. I think she's fine. She can carry a comedic note and stuff like that. This whole show is actually pretty fucking bland. I kept thinking, like, I was planning out what order to watch the shows in, and I'll watch this first, and I'm like, what's the sixth show? And I must have done this like 4 times because I could never remember step by step. It's so bland, it's so forgettable. But again, I watched so many episodes of it, like in preparation for this. Um,
Yes.
the show suffers from just not being very funny. Besides Dana and Cody and Patrick Duffy's really funny. There's
Yeah,
really
he's
nothing to
good.
write home about in this one.
I agree with you completely. I think it's very mediocre. I think it could have worked better with someone else in the role of the mother. Duffy is good. Dana is good. The kids take her leave. I think Cody is good. It had elements to be good, but like it's kind of rinse and repeat of other TV shows. It didn't have its own identity. It's forgettable. But I still enjoyed it for what it was. It still had that whole life lesson thing. It still was charming.
There's something very calming about how bland it is.
I think so. Duffy, I think Duffy's a superstar. He can say something very funny, like even when his wife is going to out him for saying Frank's is a tough bar, the look he gives her, I laughed. Suzanne has to fight for every laugh she gets if she gets any. Duffy, all he has to do is make a look and he
Mhm.
wins. Love Duffy. Dana is great. And Dana's a great character too because Dana and Duffy are so different. It's not shoved down your throat, but Dana is into like causes. She's very young. She doesn't get all of it, and where Duffy, he's been through the ringer. He's has his own business, and you get these two different views of life together. And also there's stepdaughter and stepdad. There was a lot of magic to be had with those two, and I think everyone else kind of paled in comparison. That relationship was the show. Now Now we are on to our sixth and final TGIF show, which I won't say we saved the best for last, but considering who you and I are, Eric, it's the one that made the most sense for last. Boy Meets World, Season 5, Episode 17. Bring us into it. What is Boy Meets World?
Okay, you have to know. You have to know this one. Go ahead.
God, I don't. Boy Meets World is a show. I honestly have only seen this episode and one other.
When this boy meets world, meets world, running down this road that we call life. What we're doing, it's good to know I have friends who will always stand by me. When this boy meets world. That's it. Okay.
Well,
now,
and it was the most '90s opening I've ever seen in my life.
Can you, in order, tell me which ones are your favorite theme song?
Perfect Strangers, number 1. Family Matters, number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Belvedere, number 3. Full House, Boy Meets World, and Step by Step.
Oh, okay. All right. I would say Perfect Strangers.
Yep.
Number 1, obviously.
Sure.
Full House, banger of a song.
It is.
Family Matters.
Yep.
Step by Step.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just listened to it before we did this show. I'm going to put Mr. Belvedere above Boy Meets World because I think Boy Meets World is just fucking lazy. Mr. Belvedere.
Yes, it is lazy. There is a 90s charm to it. It was a transitional show where it was coming into the grunge era, and you felt it. You felt like the MTV influence on it. You may not have noticed in this episode, there was a little bit of the South Park influence on it.
Oh, yeah.
Boy Meets World is about Corey and Topanga in school with Mr. Feeney, who is one of the best characters in sitcom history ever. And it's basically about a high school class. So you have romance between Corey and Topanga. You got the best friend, Sean. And you have Mr. Feeney, who just wants to control his class. And he acts as the Mr. Belvedere of the high school. Wouldn't you agree?
He is another one of those like veteran actors that really nailed this role. Like it's so hard to think of any other role that was like perfectly molded to an actor than William Daniels in this. Mm-hmm. He embodies this role. I mean, this episode is not a good showcase for Mr. Feeney because it's we'll get to it, but he is perfect. He's the exact kind of teacher you always wanted.
And he's no stranger to sitcoms or to TV. I believe he was the voice of Kit in Knight Rider, and I believe he was also in Magnum PI as whatchamaface's lover, friend, sugar daddy.
Tom Selleck?
Tom Selleck, yes.
Tom Selleck's lover, friend, sugar daddy?
So, I forget. To be honest, I've really never seen the show, but I know he was on it.
I'm taking a wild guess that Tom Selleck and William Daniels were lovers on that show.
And maybe he was too young to be a sugar daddy at that point. The only thing I know about the show is Tom Selleck had a nice car and Mr. Feeney had money. That's all I know. And so it makes sense. Where did Tom Selleck get the nice car? From a sugar daddy.
From Kit.
Ooh, Perfect. Kit. Perfect. It all works out. So in this episode, we have Corey and Topanga are split up, and Sean's not a fan of it. I think they all get detention because there's another kid, I think is Kenny.
It's Kenny.
And they fight, so Feeney holds them all after school, and we get like a mini slasher episode here, complete with Jennifer Love Hewitt playing Jennifer Love Pfefferman. I laughed my ass off when she called herself Jennifer Love Pfefferman. What a fucking funny thing.
This is one of the most memorable shows. Did you watch this show first run?
I did not. Realistically, I think I was just beyond TGI Fridays at this point because I really never watched this show. My wife did. She was very familiar with it.
You would have been like 18 when this show started.
Oh, I was out on the town, living the life. I had no time for bullshit.
Eating canned raviolis on Friday nights. You didn't have time to watch TV.
You know me too well. Yes.
They're all in detention, and then suddenly the lights go out, and Kenny is murdered with a pencil through the forehead. And as he falls to the floor, he leaves a pencil mark going down the wall. And Corey's like, we'll always remember he was this tall.
That was awesome.
So you automatically know that this show is better written than all of the other shows around him and has flawless comedic acting in it. It's written in blood on the chalkboard that nobody gets out alive. and Jack and Eric show up for some reason.
Mhm.
They're just there to play basketball, I guess. And they keep saying, "Oh, hey, well, look on the bright side. At least we're not Kenny. Kenny's obviously going to be the first one to die." And he's like, "Wait, why do you keep saying that?" And he goes, "Oh, like none of us are going to die."
Obviously, a tribute to I Know What You Did Last Summer and Scream. It was of that time. Sean being the Jamie Kennedy sort of character in this episode. Loved it. They had the creepy janitor. The guy who wrote this, I'm not sure of the writer's name, was a big fan of horror.
Jeff
No,
Monet or something.
I take my hat off if I wore a hat. He did a good job capturing the horror aspect where they first suspected poor Mr. Feeney. I thought that was so funny, all the shit talk about Mr. Feeney. Then they find him and he's dead. And then they start talking, the creepy janitor must have done it. And he's dead.
Some of the best bits are like Sean was talking to like how to survive these things, and he's like, "Well, virgins don't die." And then just through the crowd, they're like Jack's like, "I'm dead." Eric's like, "I'm dead too." Sean's like, "I'm about as sick as you can get without actually dying."
I
And
love
Corey
that.
thanks Topanga for keeping him alive.
That's right.
Maybe my favorite line of this is when they suspect that the janitor's dead, and they're like, "Well, now that you suspect him, the janitor's gonna die." They find
Yep.
the janitor, and then Eric goes, wait a minute, the killer's dead. We're off the hook up top."
That was awesome. I
That
did
was
think,
great.
what was his name? The one that you just spoke of that gave the high five, Eric. He was making out with Jennifer Love Hewitt. He was a little bit touchy. I'm not sure if that was part of the script, but I got the inkling that maybe he saw an opportunity. Hell, it's Jennifer Love Hewitt. They're telling me to kiss her. I'm going for it.
Well,
Did
they
you
were
feel?
dating at the time.
Oh, were they? All right.
Yeah, they were dating when they filmed. That's how they got her on the show, is because she was dating Will Friedle.
Then I withdraw my creepy jerk off comment I was about to say. Go for it, dude. Congratulations. Jennifer Love Hewitt, beautiful then, beautiful now. I know I mentioned it in the last show. I won't mention it again.
Okay, great. So they get
Here,
a phone
here I
call that
mention it
says, "Do you like
again.
scary
I don't
movies?"
care. I don't care how big she gets. She's beautiful.
Oh my God. You
Continue.
can't let it go, can you?
No, because you cut me off before I was going to make my
you
point.
have to get it in there, don't you?
I wasn't going to say it, but I was going to say something nice, and you cut me off. And I don't take that shit from nobody. But continue.
So they get a phone call that's like, "Do you like scary movies?" And then they wind up going to the library where they all start suspecting each other. Jennifer Love Pfefferman is killed when a bunch of books are pushed on top of her. Eric is then killed when a bunch of books are pushed on top of him.
Yep.
Obviously, it can't get really violent.
Sure.
Jack freaks out when he finds Eric dead. He runs out to the ledge because he won't be able to make his rent and wants to kill himself.
That's right. Yeah.
Angela goes out on the ledge to calm him down, and right when she does, the killer shoves them off the ledge. So now it's Corey, Sean, and Topanga. The killer comes up on the three of them. He grabs Corey and Topanga's hands. He links them together. Sean pulls the mask off to reveal Sean is the killer.
Yes.
But it was all a dream, and they're still in detention. And Feeney lets them go because they learned their lesson. And then Feeney has a dream where all of his students are really smart.
Which was
they
a
all
great
appreciate him. He wakes up miserable.
That was a great dream for Feeney.
Yeah.
I laughed so hard when they were all applauding Mr. Feeney. It was just fantastic. Like I'm gonna watch more of this because Feeney is so good. Every time Feeney was on the screen, I laughed. And this episode, such a tribute to the horror films of the time, Scream, Urban Legends, I Know What We Did Last Summer, had that vibe. Lots of fun. I liked that they put the Grim Reaper as the killer. That was kind of fun. Great stuff. And like I said, Jennifer Love Hewitt, when she called herself Jennifer Love Pfefferman, I died laughing. I'm like, that's so fucking funny. Because I was expecting her to say Hewitt, and she says fucking Pfefferman. This episode was really, really good. Good writing, fun all around, and
I felt this episode of Boy Meets World was a better sequel than I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, and way better than I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer.
I agree. I agree with you.
This
Absolutely.
show is a breath of fresh air because this show is able to deal with topics like sex, like drinking, like domestic abuse in a very real way that isn't like as corny or morally staunch as Family Matters or Full House. Like there's drinking involved and people talk about drinking, but they never come down and just say no one should ever drink ever, Laura.
Yep.
It doesn't necessarily give you all the answers because it doesn't necessarily have all the answers. This show deals with some hard-hitting topics that are very interesting, and it does it in a way that's not as condescending as the rest of the shows on TGIF.
Very well said.
This is a great show, a very great show, and I think everybody should watch it. It's on Disney Plus.
And I agree with you. The fact that Sean was having that conflict, and at the end he came to the realization them together is how he knew them. And I've been through it. Friends that have gotten divorces and have split up, and it's weird because you've gone places with them and it's become routine, it's a habit, and now one of the people aren't there anymore, and it's a very, very unique thing. So I understand where Sean's coming from. When you make a show that's relatable and that feels real but still brings the comedy like Feeney and the silliness, you have a winner. So I'm on board. That show, it struck a chord. It's a good show.
Absolutely, man.
And it's changed the dynamic, and that's tough to deal with. Now, since we've gone through the TGI Friday episodes, the six, the half dozen, as someone would say, a lot of people may say that. Hey, I don't call it six, I call it half dozen because I'm cool like
six
that.
of one, half dozen of the other, man.
There you go. How about a half a dozen down your throat, as they say. Now,
no, they don't say that. No one's ever said that. Was someone whispering in your ear, like as you're talking, and someone's like, "They say
no, you got
sometimes."
I go
half
out
a
there.
dozen is something in your mouth. Like, is someone prompting you with this?
No.
If you're in danger, say the word avocado.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Glumpki because I'm part Polish. You weren't gonna say
that to you. That's
Glumpki?
racist.
That's not racist. That's just, hey, Geno, you're 25% Polish. What do you think of those Glumpkis in your hand?
I don't want to know what's in your hand. Keep talking about Boy Meets World.
All right. I'm not gonna. Well, when you say something in your hand and you bring up the word boy, I'm almost ready to walk. That's okay. So my whole thing before I was so rudely interrupted and diverted into talking about Glumpkis in my hand, I was going to ask you, Eric, as my dear friend, I love and respect, if you were to put these shows in order of quality and enjoyment, how would you rank them from 1 to 6? What do you think?
Boy Meets World is one of the best sitcoms of all time, so that's clearly number 1. I would then put Family Matters, then I would put Perfect Strangers, then Step by Step, then Mr. Belvedere, then Full House. I really don't like Full House.
Well said.
Do you know what's your ranking of these 6
number 1
television shows?
Number 1, Mr. Belvedere.
Oh, okay.
Number 2, Perfect Strangers. Number 3, Boy Meets World.
Ooh.
Number 4, Family Matters. Number 5, Step by Step. And in a distant 6th, Full House.
We agree on something. Full House is the fucking worst.
we do agree. We do agree, and holy shit, Eric, I loved doing a TGI Friday episode. This was a great idea. Who came up with it? Was it my idea or yours?
That was your idea.
What a great idea. I finally came up with a good one.
That's because you got a good blunky between your ears.
A Glumpki, yeah, or Podolgi.
I assume that's what that means, right?
Better than a kielbasa, as they say.
I want to know who these people are and tell them to stop. Get off of that email chain or whatever it is. Is it like do you get like a phrase of the day catalog or something?
No, I just meet fucked up people and they say fucked up stuff that I find interesting. So anyway, that concludes our TGI Friday episode. We hope everyone enjoyed it. We know we may have left a few other shows out, but hey, we're not going to do a million shows, so suck it.
You really know how to send the audience home happy. Yeah, we didn't cover you. Fuck off. All of you. All 83 of you.
All 83. Well, usually 100, but 83 that listen through. Yeah, sure. But any final comments, Eric, about TGI Friday, about our good listeners, about sucking it, whatever?
This was a really fun journey to go on. I don't think you should always live in nostalgia. I think that could be a little dangerous. But it was good to get a soupçon of TGIF and falling down some very interesting sitcom rabbit holes. So great idea, Geno.
Fuck yeah, loved it. This is one of my favorite episodes. I had a great time, and I had the best time sitting down, watching these episodes. It really felt like a no pressure sort of episode where you get to sit back and just enjoy something very charming and fun. I had a great time. I love TGI Fridays. These shows are great for the most part, minus Full House. We hope you enjoyed listening, and we'll be back.
Standing tall.
After these messages, we'll be right back.